Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're doing another video, and this is version 1 of the budget Rebel round trip build. Basically it's a 1 OCP build with most of the gear that you can actually get from episode 17.1. Obviously the Temporal Boots from Old Glassheim, the Temporal Circlet from Old Glassheim Challenge Mode, and I think the Lust Crusher I got from one of the monsters from episode 17.2. But first of all, we are going to take a look at the Circlet of Time for the Rebel. Additional attack per 2 refines, attack speed plus 2% per 3 refines, and you get 20% round trip and vanishing buster damage per 3 refines. At plus 6, that's 40%, and you get 5% long range damage per 4 refines. So we're not going to look at the plus 11 stats because it is plus 7, so I don't get that additional delay. What's important is you get the 20% round trip damage and 5% long range damage. We got N plus 1 here for the 4th slot enchant, and Dex, Temporal Jewel Dex level 2. It does say bow damage plus 2%, but I'm sort of hoping it's long range damage. You get hit, you get attack percentage as well for 5 refines. So yeah, I'd probably put this geyser card here if it were plus 11. Otherwise, I'll just leave it as it is. Looking at the armor, it's the Illusion Armor Type A from episode 17.1. Attack plus 100, additional 10 per 2 refines. At plus 7, you get attack speed plus 10%. And when comboed with the Illusion Engine Wing A, you get additional 50 attack. Obviously, we've got the Porcello card here, just a good generic physical card for additional 25 attack. Moving on to the Illusion Engine Wing A, HP plus 1000, additional 100 per 2 refines. And at plus 7, you get attack speed plus 5%. We're not going to look at the combos with the Illusion Leg because we're not running it, but we have the Mod Orb speed here for the additional attack speed. You can leave it blank, to be fair. And the Men Blood card, 1% long range damage per 10 base dex. Where's my dex here? 130, so that's up to 13% long range damage, which is pretty good. There are better cards, but still pretty good. We get Illusion Booster R, attack plus 5%. You got Fatal, attack speed 4. We got Expert Archer 5 for additional 10% long range damage, and the Gold Scarab card for additional 20 attack. Just a good generic accessory card. It's the same thing for the Illusion Booster L, just a left side one. Still the same enchants and the same card. So we just doubled up. Next we have the Temporal Dex Boots. Obviously this is for the additional FCT reduction. Gives Dex, once you have 120 Dex, you get half second FCT reduction and 5% long range damage. You don't really have FCT on round trip, but I use this generically for a lot of my long range builds. Expert Archer 4 on long range damage plus 8%, and Hawkeye for the additional 200 Dex when it procs. So extra boost of damage there when Hawkeye does proc. Now we have the Lust Crusher. It's not really the best weapon for round trip, but you do get additional round trip damage, 10% round trip damage, as well as the Fire Rain stuff. We're not really going to run Fire Rain here, but we may be able to in the future. So yeah, just the Lust Crusher just so that I can combo it with the Demon's Familiar. You can run another gun if you'd like, but keeping it to the sense of the no OCP or the 1 OCP build, I just went for Lust Crusher. Obviously, Archer Skeleton card, we have 2 for additional 20% long range damage, and obviously the Demon's Familiar, all stats plus 10. When comboed with the Lust Crusher, you get additional 200 attack and 200 M attack. That's a big boost, especially if you are on a budget. Even for the Lust Crusher, you actually just need, I think, plus 9 just to get the additional 10% round trip damage. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of a damage test at the eggs still this time, and we'll see how effective this build is. Alright, here we are at the eggs. We're going to test the neutral egg first with the armor piercing bullet. So we're doing about 175 to 185k per round trip. That's actually not bad. It's actually not bad. Alright, next we are at the fire eggs, and we're going to use the freezing bullet this time. So we're looking at about 235 to about 250,000 damage per round trip. That's actually pretty good. And so guys, that concludes our test for version 1 of the round trip rebel build. A lot of this stuff, or well, most of this stuff is gear that you can get through finishing quests, or you know, just getting enough materials just to make them. Let's say even for the temporal circlet, I know it's from OGH challenge mode, but the materials are actually freely available in the market and they're not that expensive. I actually just slapped on a safe to 7 certificate just to get that to +7. Same for the temporal dex boots. They're very cheap. If you want to make them, they get expensive, but just to get a guaranteed enchant nowadays probably will just cost you about 25 to 30 million. That's a guaranteed enchant on the no slot, you know. And for Lust Crusher, obviously it's +11. If that looks a bit daunting for you, I'll be honest, +9 is enough. Just to get the additional 10% round trip damage. And obviously Demon's Familiar, I'm not sure if it's still available in the market, but it was about 30 to 50 million back then when it was released, so I'm sure there's a lot of the old stuff lying around. So hopefully this gives you an idea of how to run a round trip rebel on the cheap. This is still version 1. We have 2, 3, and 4 still coming, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.